This time I am going to explain about the hydraulic steering system. If you want to understand this topic much better, you must watch the video of the conventional steering system. I have explained that topic in the previous Sunday. You must watch that video if you want to learn this system more easily, more comfortably. I am giving the link of that video in the description. You must watch that video. अगर आप ये वीडियो हिंदी में देखना चाहते हो तो आप इस वीडियो को हिंदी में देख सकते हैं. मैं अगले थर्सडे को इस वीडियो को हिंदी में पब्लिश करूंगा. Okay, so let's start. Why is the need of hydraulic steering system? So in the conventional steering system there is a problem of in the heavy vehicles, because the load is much higher, so the steering is very much difficult to turn. So as to assist the driver's steering ability, the hydraulic system is applied. So hydraulic system is used. It is the power steering system which assists the driver to turn the wheels. So the main components are the steering wheel, U-joint, then the spool valve assembly. It is the most important part of this system that controls the direction of the fluid. Then there is a pump, that is the rotary vane pump, which pressurizes the fuel to the different parts of the hydraulic cylinder. Then there is a reservoir which contains the hydraulic fluid, and then the pinion. The pinion is the spur gear, normal spur gear, and the rack is maybe the cylindrical rod which is having some gears over it. And rack is also having a piston, hydraulic piston, and a hydraulic cylinder. So there are some fluid liquid supply lines also. Then the rack is connected to the tie rod, and then the knuckle arm, and then to the spindle and wheels. So these are the components of the hydraulic steering system. So while steering a car, while steering, the main motive of steering is to displace this rack, because by displacing this rack only, then the wheel will turn. As in this you can see, I am displacing the rack and the wheel are turning. So there is a piston and there is a hydraulic system that is applied over here to enter the pressurized fluid in this side of the hydraulic cylinder. Then this pressurized fluid will exert some force on the piston in this direction, and the reservoir and this side of the fluid will take off towards the reservoir. So this is also assisting the force applied by the driver. So in this way the hydraulic steering system works. In the direction in which the rack has to be displaced, the fluid must be entered in the opposite direction of the cylinder. So if the rack is required to move in that direction, then the fluid must enter over here. The pressurized fluid must enter over here, which will exert force on the piston in that direction, and thus displaces the rack in that direction. Now the main funda over here is that the direction of the fluid must change while turning. If you steer in this direction, in one direction, the fluid will be entering in some corresponding direction, and if you are turning the steering system on the other opposite direction, then the fluid must be entering the opposite direction. So the main funda over here is to change the direction of the fluid. So as to change the direction of the fluid, there is a spool valve assembly that is given over here. So in this spool valve assembly, there is a steering rod passing inside it, and this steering rod is having some valves inside it, or you may say some cavities inside it, which will give the direction to the fluid. So while turning, if the steering is turned in this direction, then the valves are arranged such that it gives the path to the fluid entering from the pump in this way, and the fluid from the pump travels through it and enters to the right side of the cylinder, hydraulic cylinder. When the fluid enters in the right side of the hydraulic cylinder, since the fluid is pressurized, because the pump is pressurizing the fluid, so this pressurized fuel will exert some force on the piston in this direction, and hence displaces the rack in this direction. When the rack is displacing in this direction, the volume of this side of the cylinder decreases. As the volume decreases, the fluid inside this will tends to move in this supply line and then to the reservoir. So in this way this spool valve assembly works. Now when the steering is rotated in the opposite direction, the valves of this steering rod are arranged such that it gives the path to the pump, such that the pump will supply fluid from this point to this point. And since this point is connected to the left side of the cylinder, so when the fluid and when the pump is forcing or pressurizing fluid in this direction, and so the pressurized fluid will enter in the left side of the cylinder. At this moment, since the pressure fluid in the left side of the cylinder, then this will exert some force in the right side of the so this time the fluid will exert force on the rack in the right direction. So when the force is applied in this direction, so the fluid from the other side of the cylinder will come out from here and then follow this path and then to the reservoir. This is the path on the back side of the steering rod. That's why I am denoted it by the dotted line. So this is the major function of the spool valve assembly, and this is how the hydraulic steering works. So there are some key points that you must also know, that the pump is rotary vane pump and it is taking drive from the engine directly by the belt drive. And why the power steering works only when the engine is on. And the main disadvantage of this rotary pump is that as the main disadvantage of this rotary vane pump is that the flow of the rate is directly proportional to the engine speed, because it is taking directly drive from the engine. So the rate of flow of the fluid inside it will be directly proportional to the speed of the engine. So at very high speed, the rate of the flow of the fluid will be very much high, and the ease of and rotating the steering will be very much easy, and it may be some unstable. So as to stabilize this, there nowadays the electronic control are also in use, which controls the pressure of the fluid that is traveling inside this, so as to control the stability of the steering system. So I think this is all about the steering, hydraulic steering. If you have any doubts and any queries about this system, you can ask me in the comment section below. If you like my video, please like my video, please share it to your friends, and if you didn't subscribe to my channel, please subscribe as soon as possible. Please subscribe it as soon as possible. Thanks a lot guys for watching my video. Keep watching, keep sharing, and keep supporting. Thanks a lot guys.